For joining us again. In this video we're going to be fitting the side opening window. It's got a built-in fly screen. It's from Leisure Vehicle Windows. The process of fitting it was fairly straightforward, but there are some things that I definitely would have done differently if I was doing it again. In fact, we then fitted a tiny little bunk window in the top of the other side of the van, and I did a couple of things differently on that one, so we learnt as we were going. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll share what I did differently when I was fitting the tiny little bunk window in the top on the opposite side of the van, and also some really good tips, things that would be really essential, I think, which weren't included in the actual video. So stick around to the end and you'll get those. But it's great to be back. We found some video footage on an old hard drive that we thought we'd lost, that we did during the van build, so we're going to be bringing quite a few videos like this to you. If this sounds really helpful and if the video is useful, please remember to give us a like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, and then as these videos come through you'll be able to watch them. And if you're doing a van build, particularly on a Mercedes Sprinter or any camper van with the windows and things like that, this might be really helpful. So remember to watch to the end, because there's some essential tips which will be really helpful if you're fitting a similar window or windows in the side of your van. Here's the video. First thing was to make sure that the van was absolutely clean, so we gave it a really good scrubbing down, got some help with that. We then got a foam pad on the end of a cordless drill and some cutting compound, and cut through any grime, grease, road film, things like that, just to make sure that it was really clean. And it sent the body of the van, the paintwork, from something that looked like this all the way through to something that looked like this, which gave us a really good surface to start from. Yeah, very exciting day today. I picked up the two front windows from Loughborough, so we've got those, they're in the van ready to go. But we've also had delivered these small windows for the back of the van, so I'm just cutting out templates now out of cardboard, so we know where we're going to be cutting and things like that. So I've got this one there which fits in nicely, so that's pretty nice and snug. So that gives me something to put on the side of the van and draw around, draw inside this part here, and then get the jigsaw on it and cut that out of the van. I'm just going to clean the actual window itself, the ones that were delivered, because even though they were well packaged and everything like that, they were really dusty, so they've obviously been in storage for a little while. So there we go, just getting that round there, and I'm going to get a cloth now and dry it off. There's some special cleaning agent as well to go on there before it actually gets bonded to the van, but we're a little way off that. Yeah, I've got to drill and cut great big holes in the side of the van first, so might as well crack on, eh? I've drawn out on the van exactly where I want to cut. I'll put some masking tape on there just so I don't scratch the surface of the van. So the first thing to do now is, after measuring and measuring again and checking again and measuring again, is to drill a pilot hole enough to get the jigsaw blade through, so then I can start cutting it out. With my jigsaw, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this metal plate from the bottom, and I'm going to replace this roller ball, because then what will happen is the only thing in contact with the van, the skin of the van, will be these two roller balls here. I need to swap this blade as well, because this is quite a large toothed blade for cutting through wood, and replaced it with a really fine toothed one for cutting metal. Remember when drilling the pilot hole to put the jigsaw blade through, to make sure that you put it into the actual piece of metal that you're going to throw away afterwards, not into the part of the van that's staying. And I put some masking tape on the piece of metal that was going to fall out the van. Luckily it fell into the van because the masking tape wasn't strong enough. All I'd say on this is take your time and be accurate. We have a hole. You just needed the edges of the hole filing up to make them nice and smooth, and we're ready to go. I've set my workbench up and I've put a towel on it, nice soft surface to lay the window down, face down. And the only reason I've taped it is it's a bit windy today, so I don't want the wind catching the towel and sending the window off, smashing onto the floor. So all I'm doing here is cleaning up the side of the van with an alcohol wipe, and also one is provided to clean the window itself. These are essential just to make sure that the surface is absolutely clean and there is nothing that's going to get in the way of the bonding agent and the primer to actually be able to stick the window to the van. This black priming agent comes with a kind of cotton ball on the end of a stick, and it's easy just to go around. Just try and make sure doing it a sweeping motion rather than lots of dabs. See, there's enough of the black primer to prime the side of the van as well, just so both surfaces are coated and ready to accept the bonding agent. I've pierced the foil seal on the top of the bonding agent, so on the adhesive, so I think we're ready to go. Start at the bottom and work my way round and then overlap again at the bottom. So here we go. I'll tell you what, before I start, I'm going to give myself a little bit of space just to walk all the way around it if I need to. So let's get into position and away we go. There's a V in the actual nozzle of the tube, so that's going to allow a nice bead, a nice V-shaped bead around the whole thing. So let's go. Take your time with this bit. Try not to lift the actual nozzle off the window until there is a full bead all the way around. It's like a bead that stands up all the way around. Just overlapped at the bottom there just to make sure that there's no gaps in the sealant. These windows go a specific way up. There's a top and a bottom. It's got drainage parts at the bottom, and the opening has to be towards the rear of the van, so I want to get it pretty much as close as I can in place, so the sealant isn't some sealant on my gloves, so taking them off, getting them out of the way. I'm spreading it around. Yeah, I'm just getting a bit of tape on there just to hold it in place while the adhesive goes off and set. And here I'm just making sure that the window is as level as possible to the ridges in the side of the van. It's the only thing I can measure off, and it seemed to work. It looked really accurate once done. Lovely, we're in. Just need to clear a little bit of adhesive up here, so I'll do that now. First window in the van. I'm really pleased with that. It looks fantastic. Look even better once the tape's off. I'll take another snap of it when the tape's gone. And all we've got to hope now is that it's waterproof. I'm sure it is, because on the inside, nobody ever shows these on their videos, the insides, but it looks like an absolute train wreck. So I'm hoping that because of the way it looks and the amount of sealant that's squeezed through the little gap, but yeah, that's going to be nice and waterproof and do the job. And it's just at the right height for where the beds will be. Our bed will be down here, so we'll be able to wake up in the morning and have a look through that wherever we're staying, and the kids' beds will go just above that. And so yeah, happy days, first window in. Yeah, so this is the window on the other side, and there was a gap all the way around the edge on this as well, but I managed to get the sealant round it. It was a bit of a pain of a job, but I managed to seal it all off just to make it a little bit more aerodynamic and to make sure that water's not collecting against the surface of the van in the upper bit parts of it and that. I left the bottom free on this one because it's got vents in it. I don't think the camera will pick it up, but yeah, I left the bottom free but sealed all the way around the sides and the top. Looking pretty good, and it's waterproof as well. We tested it before I even sealed around it, so happy days. Another job done. Okay, first tip is to have some paper towels ready and also some alcohol-based cleaner. This cleans the bonding agent, the black window screen adhesive, off the surface of the van straight away. It doesn't drag, it doesn't pull, it doesn't make a mess. As you can see, we got a really neat finish around the outside of the window in the end, but we needed this alcohol based cleaner to be able to do it. And if you get some of this, it's easily available, then use it because it's absolutely fantastic. The other thing is that if we were to do this again, and when we did the upper bunk window and the other side of the van, we removed the struts on the inside, the strengthening struts on the panel first, and it made it much easier, less vibration. And also in this video, I removed the bottom plate of the jigsaw, thinking it would make things easier, it would make the jigsaw more maneuverable. And it did, it definitely did that. But in hindsight, I think I would leave that plate on and just put lots of masking tape on it so it slid across the surface of the van without scratching it. It would just meant I could have probably get a bit more pressure on it, and it wouldn't vibrate and tug as much, you know, using it. And so I would definitely leave the plate on the jigsaw and tape it up, and also remove those struts on the inside of the van, just so it wasn't quite so difficult getting through those areas. What else? Another tip is, you'll see on this picture here, put some masking tape on the inside of the van to stop all the metal filings from the jigsaw falling down into a gap. And over time, obviously they're bare metal, so they would rust with condensation and moisture in the air. And obviously you don't want to have rust on the inside of a van. It'd be a bit of a nightmare, particularly once it's all built. So those bits of masking tape just meant that any falling debris came down onto the bottom of the van, so I could hoover it up afterwards. They didn't get stuck into little seams and places on the van where they could rust. But it's actually been 2 years, over 2 years now, since the windows were installed, and they've been absolutely brilliant. Fantastic windows. Having the Flyscreen built into that back one has been a godsend when we've been places hot like Spain and Portugal, where there's mosquitoes. It's just kept them out, and means we can have it open at night and let a bit of breeze through, along with the skylights as well. They've got built-in fly screens as well, and it's just been absolutely lovely. It's worked really well. So yeah, all good. I hope this video has been really useful. If it has, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe if you want to see more of the van build videos now we found them. And we'll catch you again very, very soon. If you want to see what the window looked like on the inside, once it was all boxed in, and we used reclaimed materials, an antique piece of scaffolding board and just some reclaimed wood that we found, then watch this video here, and that will give you all the details on how to box it out and make it look wonderful on the inside. And we'll catch you again really soon. Cheers.